session.
Alrighty. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to move this over so I don't accidentally ding it. All right. We are now to my favorite part of the evening, the evaluation session. We have heard many wonderful speeches. We've laughed. We've considered crying and not. And now we get to hear feedback as to how wonderful they all were and how to make them even better next time. So without further ado, because I know we're running a little bit behind schedule, let's move on to our first evaluator for speaker number 1. Where did you go? Evaluator number 1? Oh, there you go. Sorry, I couldn't see you. There's heads in the way. Would you please come up and give your evaluation for Victor Halls?
I was about to say I'm speechless, but I'm evaluator, so I can't say I'm speechless. When Victor said that he's relieved after doing all those things, and today he finished his 40th time 10th CC, so round of applause for somebody extraordinary. He said he's relieved, and I thought I'm stressed out. What can you say to somebody who has done few hundreds of speeches, technically maybe 500 or more speeches? What can you say? Victor, my personal opinion, your speech was inspiring to the crowd because it talked about something what a Toastmaster would go through. It talked about things wherein we all can relate, about challenges in life and climbing. The story of a frog was very interesting. What I even liked was that in the beginning, when the title was incorrectly mentioned, you came up in a very nicely, you said, and my speech title is Froggy. Though it was written and mentioned from Froggy. And that was a very nice way of clearing the things, so we know that it's about Froggy. I like the way where you gently started the story. You had little bit hand gestures there to enact the frog climbing the tree. And then finally, the frog would never quit and you connected with your speech further. I was surprised to see that somehow you talk about symbols. I'm not sure was it a coincidence or was it a part where you talked about what Sim spoke a while ago before the break. But however, in both the cases, it was very quick for a speaker to speak about something which was just spoken a while ago and connect well to the whole speech. So that was, yes, well done. Coming to the points which I personally think could have been improved. As you are very gentle, and I felt that in this inspiring speech, at times I was expecting a clear focus on certain things, so what as a listener I could be inspired to do. Because it was the inspiration about what you have done. It was inspiration of what Sim has done or he wants to do, or what you wanted to be like him. There were a few different things. So as an audience, I was like, so generally, do I just continue to dream, or do I just focus on one dream, or do I just go for after my dream, or do I chase my dream, or never quit? There were quite a few things. And I felt that all were correct, but I would like if you had focused on just one thing, would have been much more stronger. And that's the reason I realized that when we talked about sin, we talked about we're not giving up challenges. Then you connected back to the story of the frog, or what the frog did. Then you talked about your conversation with Sim and how he inspired you and told you something, which I felt very good because there was a personal story example with a live person sitting here. It was very well done. Finally, I felt the closing could have been stronger because you talked about quite a number of things which were a bit repetitive, which happened towards the middle and the beginning. And when it came towards the closing, I felt it was not different. It was not unique, it didn't make it stronger as an inspirational speech. So I felt the closing could have been just maybe 15 to 20 seconds and would have done. And that would have ended the whole thing with a big bang, made it much more effective. And my time is over, I bet you.
Thank you. Moving on to our evaluator number 2, C. Jerry.
Hi Kumaran, congratulations on your CC5. I really liked you have a very good voice, loud and clear. And what I like is you have a very compelling opening. You see, you were incorporating your body language and trying to do something that we are guessing. So that's a compelling opening that we are trying to guess what are you trying to do until you spoke the words curry puff, and then we know that you are selling curry puff. And I think that that's a good way of to start your speech. And I like the narrative of your speech when you are having some difficulties in part of your stories, that you are having difficulties to sell your curry puff. And then you gave us the solutions and what you have done by finding a better solutions by shouting. And this is where, you know, when you have a good speech, you give the solutions to the people. And then your business start to grow. And the only part that the other part that I've seen that you have incorporated your body language is when you have a dog. That was a great part when you have a dog trying to show. So if I may give my opinion to help you to consummate your public speaking skills. Now, two things that I would like to say. The first thing is body language, which is truly what the speech is for. You see, when you say you moved to the new house, you were moving to the new house, you were still standing at the same spot. You should have gone to a new place. This is your new house. So this is why we have this body language. And overjoyed, when you say, we are all overjoyed, we are all overjoyed. You know, your facial expression, we are all overjoyed. That's part that I can think of. And the other part is that when your mom talks to your sons that, you know, with the same gesture that we are still trying to guessing where's your mom, where's your son, where's your mom, where's your son. So try to use a different way of stance that, you know, this is for mom, this is me. That will be better. And I felt that one of the part is that your back and forth speeches, you know, sometimes we tend to move unnecessary movement. So try to have more, not too back and forth because it's not a dancing back and forth. So just stand straight and try to move as purposely as possible. And the second part that it will be a structured organizations, which I can think that in terms of good stories is always very simple. 7 minutes. How do you give the message to the audience? 3 parts I would recommend: challenges. How do you overcome your challenges? And what is the message that you can give to the audience? And I felt that you have done fairly well, and then you come with your second point. My second challenge, you're flooding the audience with too much thing. So I think that you have a very good attempt on your CC5, and basically you are a great speaker. Well, you ended with a very nice, if there is a meal, there is a way. And I would like to add, if there is a speech, there is a takeaway. And I look forward to your next speech.
For our third evaluator, will CCCL Ethan please come up to give your evaluation?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you that I am a psychology student. No, I cannot read your mind, but research is my life. So it is my pleasure to evaluate the CC7 there. Now let us look at one thing that he did very brilliantly, which you see very few CC7 speakers do. He used the power of definition to gain all the sense of credibility he needed when he began. He took 1 minute to show us a video simply on what the fuck he was going to talk about. He took the time to display a video which not only gave us application, he told us where it came from. And if you'll notice, one part of the video shows a dictionary-like display of what that word's definition actually is. Which means he used 1 minute to gain our credibility on definition alone. Many speakers do not focus on definition, do not tell us where the word comes from, just say, you can't know what fubbing is when I show you this video, right? But he went all out to use definition itself to gain credibility, and that is your biggest point. I would say kudos to you for that. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. You also do have multiple sources of information. You come from CNN here, you talk about a study done by them, you have the video itself, which contains many sub-forms of research. Then you have a survey. You did not mention from where, but you regardless do have a survey. Now let me give you some suggestions to make your speech more research powerful, more research strength worthy. Yes. Now, in terms of your presentation style, there are little things that you do which reduces your credibility. For example, from the setup itself, it feels a little bit like you're not so prepared for this speech. The timing itself shows us that you don't quite know the centrifugal purpose of your speech. Because in front, we say Subang, a new norm. But in your speech, if you'll notice, the setup itself, although reduced credibility, we understand, we proceed. We know that this is hard. But you'll notice that as a speaker, he gave us many facts. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he tried to correlate 60% of divorces to the use of smartphones. But the problem here is, while you gave us hard facts, you said, so you can see how Subang may be a problem and may get worse in the future and may cause a lot of harm. So we have the facts, but you're telling us now maybe? So it's a little bit contradictory to your purpose here. And in terms of the power of your research evidence, one thing that I realized you could not put forward in this particular circumstance is the significance of the smartphone and relevance in our lives. Because if I'm not mistaken, out of our close to 8 billion people, about 1 billion people own smartphones. And in fact, many poverty-stricken people own smartphones as well. So it could very well be a real epidemic. So you need to highlight the big facts, make it super clear, and do it with the stage setup all done. Other than that, you have your points, you have your variety. I think I'm looking forward to another research speech from you. All the best, and back to you.
Thank you, Ethan. And our last evaluator, DTM Victor Ong.
Francis. Okay, I'm going to go straight to the point. This is an advanced manual, advanced speech from the entertaining speaker, and the speech assignment is a dramatic talk. So you shared us a drama in your childhood days about a fight you got into and how you became a biter of flesh. Now that resulted in an outcome. You became very suicidal, and that was before you took that fatal step forward. It was your turning point. That was basically what the speech was all about. Now, this speech requires you to demonstrate storytelling techniques that can entertain. I thought you had shown the level of intensity when you narrated the story, but I wish you could have learned to pace and pause better. Now, I have a problem with the story connecting with thoughts of suicide. I'm very familiar with suicide, but in suicide, the cause would be depression. You did not build enough of the setting, the context of how you became depressed because of name calling that allowed you to flirt with the idea of wanting to kill yourself. Now, normally it's a story which has taken place many, many years ago. You did not indicate the time period in which you decide you want to take your life. So perhaps that was some of the loose ends that you could have made the story better. Now, you use vocal variety quite well, although you could perhaps better make use of intonation. It was very loud, very intense, but perhaps in areas in which you have thoughts of suicide, you could bring your voice down and show the necessary facial expressions as well. I thought your face was pretty nonchalant about a lot of things. It did not indicate melancholy, it did not indicate regret. So I thought that was that missing element. Now overall it was a very interesting speech because you are an interesting speaker. I've always had a lot of respect for you as a speaker. Perhaps you could take on board some of my comments about that and ensure that that speech could be better narrated with the climax in the right places so that we could have the highs and the lows of a story that can then entertain. But still, a very good attempt. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to evaluate.